It's historic. Trump is the second president after Coolidge where a person has, you know, had intermittent terms. A term, a broken term, and then another term. But he's the first who's made a comeback after losing as a sitting president. It is, and mind you, he's got had to go through a lot of court cases, demonization, and what have you. To that extent, I think very, very remarkable victory. You look at New York Times, you look at Washington Post, you look at Foreign Affairs. They've come out with a whole lot of uh, headlines that America has made dark choices, a risky choice, and we're going to have a term of chaos and things like that, and a whole lot of issues. But that detailed discussion I'll hold till 9th. On 9th, 8 o'clock, join us. We're going to have a terrific panel to discuss the outcomes of the US presidential election. Ambassador Trigunay, General Hasnain, General Murthy, right? And Brigadier Arun Sehgal, who's into USA quite a bit. Okay, having said that, what are the initial takeaways which we have, as far as this subject is concerned? And then, of course, I'll get on to the global, mediator role which India can play. And actually, that role is opened up with this election, and I'll connect it. Okay, the first reaction, China UN false. ठीक है, अगर हिंदी में बोलो तो चाइना में 10 लग गए. They are worried. Okay, so that's the first reaction. Okay, now next what? Then our Prime Minister has given a great tweet. Heartiest congratulations, my friend, real Donald Trump, on your historic election victory. As you build on the successes of your previous term, I look forward to renewing our collaboration to further strengthen the India-US comprehensive global and strategic partnership. Together, let's work for the betterment of our people and to promote global peace, stability, and prosperity. They have a great equation. There's no doubt about it. Howdy Modi, howdy Trump. And you remember at that point of time, a PM had gone and said, "Ab ki baar Trump ki sarkar." It didn't happen, but ab ki baar Trump ki sarkar hone wala hai. So there's a great chemistry between the two of them. But does it end there or it begins there? That's what we're going to see. We'll see what the broad contours of issues are as far as India is concerned. Because like I said, at this point of time, I'm going to talk largely about India and a few of my initial thoughts about what's going to happen in global geopolitics. Okay. We're going to have a very strong president. That's the first thing you need to understand. He's not only got his 270 seats, he might go beyond 300. That's the first one. And for the first time in a long time, here's a president who not only got the electoral college, but he's also got the popular mandate. It's not happened for a long time, maybe about 20, 30 years, or maybe more. I don't know. But this much I know. Right? Most of the presidents who've been elected have lost the popular mandate, but become presidents. But here's a man who's done both. And he's come stronger with more votes than what he got last time. What's more important, the Senate is under Republican control and the House of Representatives also is heading towards Republican control. That we'll come to know. So far, I've not been able to find out. Right? So, the presidency will be very strong, unlike Biden's or Obama's, which is pretty weak. Biden's was still strong. Obama's was very weak for many reasons. Anyway, there's no point going back into time and saying, "Uska kya hua? Jo hua hua hai." We're going to deal with a known person. Like they say, a known devil than an unknown angel. Kamala Harris was an unknown angel. In fact, she was not an unknown angel. She was also known quite a bit. Personally, I was hoping that she doesn't make it because then she would be more loyal than the king. All right. So that's my feeling. And I any day prefer dealing with President Trump. He's got a great equation with the PM that I've already said. So, uh, overall, I think the US India relationship will be better. Overall, I'm not talking of nitpicking. Like already, I have a question which says, look, let me put it this way. Amitesh Behra has asked, will Trump deliver what we expect from him, or are we expecting too much from him? Yes and no. He will deliver certain things which are in his interest. If our interests and America's interests overlap, we'll get it. But on certain things, I think we will be fools to expect more than what he can give. Or he might not give. He might be the guy who will not give. He might be the first person who will say no. Okay. But the overall relationship, I think, will be better. And this is the history. Contrary to many people's thinking, Republican presidents in the recent past have been better for India than Democratic. Trump was good overall. So was President George Bush. But you look at Clinton, you look at Obama, they're not good. Overall, if you see, they were not that great. They kept preaching to India. Biden, it was 50-50. It was his necessity, so he came to us. But let me say why I am okay with overall relationship, the larger relationship. See, the Quad, if you go back to 2020, there was no Quad. It was just after the Corona set in and isolation and all that used to happen, and when China was threatening to take over the whole world, that the Quad came into being to put a joint effort against China, because at that time, 4 years back, it was felt that China has become too big for everyone. It was too big for US. It was too big for USA, Australia, Japan, and India. There was a time when they were at our throats on the LAC. The Quad was formed. The Quad couldn't have been formed but for Mike Pompeo and Donald Trump. Who was Mike Pompeo? Secretary of State. First, the secretaries met, the external affairs ministers. Then there was an online meeting, and then slowly, one to one, everything ramped up. So a lot of credit for the Quad goes to the Trump administration. And without USA, this couldn't have happened. And this couldn't have happened without Trump. That goes without saying. Okay. So I think on that score, there's no this thing. And he really doesn't like China at all. And that's why you see the yuan has fallen. And there's a lot of speculation in China. They probably would have handled Kamala Harris better. Though they say that, look, Joby II doesn't matter. They don't have to be against us. But this man is very unpredictable. We know that. The next major thing is this left liberal attitudes of US administration, they will change. Like things like not telling your NSA to come, supporting Canada and all that. That will break. That nexus of left liberalism, dominating, like support for Trudeau, mushkil. Okay, so those things, I think Trump will be better off for us. And ये जो preaching attitude है ना कि भाई ये करो वो करो, there's no democracy in India. Modi is a dictator. He's an autocrat. Comparing Modi with Putin and Xi Jinping, all that nonsense will stop. All right, which is good, which is very good. Uh, like I said, he will support this thing for China, and I think on global affairs there will be a lot of convergence. But where will be the problems? I mean, let's be very clear. Trump, by nature, is temperamental. Uh, in his first term, he governed more by tweets. First, he used to tweet, and then his administration used to be running around, कि भाई ये president ने क्या बोल दिया. So that problem won't go away. You have to contend with a lot of ambiguity, a lot of up and down. So that inconsistency, ambiguity will still be there. One day he'll look like a friend, the other day he'll look like a complete enemy to you. Okay, there are two things which are going to trouble us: immigration, visas. All our young people or old people who want to go to USA and settle will have problems, or get that H-1B visas. There'll be problems. Right, so the visa regime is going to be tougher. Let's be very clear, we're going to have problems in that. Okay. Yeah. How do we get around that is a challenge, and that's where the personal equation of the Prime Minister will come in. Tariffs. He's already indicated that. He said, look, the Prime Minister, a terrific guy, but India is, they violate all tariffs and all that. So that we're going to face the music. But at a different level, the India-US defense ties will be good. That's the history. And as it is, India-US defense ties have always been good. So that is the basic, foundation on which a good India-US relationship can be built upon. And of course, I must say, there's a bit of an Indian strain which is there, which we cannot give away, or rather ignore. The vice president's wife is an Indian. She's a Telugu lady, Usha Chibulukuri. Now, so the connect of India is there. You will say, look, she's an American, she will not bother about us. I agree with you, she shouldn't bother also. But the fact that she's an Indian origin has a psychological effect on many issues. You see, now that signifies to China, देखो India and US are कोई Wong और Pong तो नहीं है ना वहाँ top में. So, but whereas whether if Kamala Harris had become or this now, both sides we had our hands in the pocket, which is something which we need to understand, which is to our advantage. Okay. Now let's look at the global scene. I put a few stars. Let's look at Ukraine. So Ukraine, he's already made a statement, Mr. Trump, that look, I never started a war in my entire tenure of 4 years, and I would like to, finish off all these wars. So I think he'll make his first move on Ukraine. So let's see what happens in Ukraine. The reaction from Russia was pretty guarded. Zelensky to chup ho gaya abhi. So that's good. If the Ukraine war gets resolved, and if Trump can, swing Russia away from China, then it will be a terrific win-win situation for us. All this talk of RIC and all will go. So this is a great possibility. And in that, I think we have this role. And the next topic, which we're going to talk of, India as a global mediator, comes in handy. Completely. Because now, if India has to be a global mediator, I don't see that happening without Trump backup. If Trump gives a backing to our Prime Minister, India can be a global mediator, and then you're seeing a different equation coming up. Relax certain sanctions against Russia, break the Russia-China link, and do a viable settlement. And the viable settlement is very simple. If you go into the history of Ukraine and Putin, Russia war, it's very simple. What does Putin say? Ukraine shouldn't be part of NATO. Simple. It shouldn't join EU. Give me a guarantee for that. That's the history. I don't discuss it, but if you see the history of this place from, say, I will go back to 1990, when Gorbachev signed on glasnost and perestroika and rapprochement. He said, हम तो ये कर रहे हैं, अगर आप इधर आ जाओगे तो क्या होगा? And at that time, USA said, don't worry, we'll not expand NATO towards the east. But they did. And they did it in 3 tranches. And that is a threat to Russia. And Russia at one point of time said, join us also in NATO. We'll join you. We'll join EU. But, every Democrat president has broken that. They've never given, because they feel that if Russia joins any of these, it will start dominating that. They're worried. I mean, it's all power politics of USA. So I feel that's the first thing. Let's see where it goes. Second, of course, Israel, Iran. Iran must be in bad shape by now. Netanyahu would be very happy. He is also far right, so is Trump, and they're good friends. So let's see. I don't see any solution to this whole thing unless Iran is tackled. Can Trump tackle Iran? Again, he'll need India for that. And I'll come to that. I'll just come to that after this. South China Sea, China. China is going to be, right? They're going to have a problem. I'll not say problem, but I think what China has been able to do in the past 2-3 years, I don't think it can do. And there's a realization in China about it. And he's very good at deals. He's very good at tariffs. He understands being a businessman. He knows how to make them operational. That is what worries China. And Chinese are businessmen. Okay. So that is the thing. Then let me come to closer home. Let's talk of Bangladesh. Whatever has happened in Bangladesh is very clear. Today already Yunus, the chief caretaker, Nobel laureate, वो कहीं रो रहा है. Oh, आज का दिन क्या हो गया? It's a black day. I shouldn't be even coming and talking to you. It's flooding the internet. So now, if that oxygen is taken off Bangladesh, the US oxygen, we have a problem at hand, because that vacuum will be filled by China. So how are you going to manage this is the issue. That's why I put a star next to Bangladesh. Okay. So that's something which we have to be cognizant of. And Pakistan won't be happy. Let's be very clear. It was Trump who cut Pakistan down to size. And it was Biden who brought them back into the American fold. I don't know if you know the story or not, but when Biden was the vice president, he once went to Pakistan. And when he went to Pakistan, he called on the president and all that as a protocol. And then he went and called on the chief of army staff. The vice president of USA went and called on the chief of army staff. It couldn't have happened. It shouldn't have happened. But Americans were so beholden those days to Pakistan that this man had to go up to, I don't remember who the chief was, but I remember this fellow went. So, so Biden had this liking for Pakistan somehow. So that will change. And so will the current, the Jake Sullivan, the NSA, all those fellows. They were troubling us. To be very honest, they were troubling us. Okay. And to that extent, change is good. Uh, Trump is okay. He brings a lot of uncertainties with him, but we know he's going to be uncertain. So let's deal with him. So that extent, yes. But more, I leave it to the three experts on 9th. I'm going to talk. Okay. On that day, I'll only moderate. Yeah. Trump's first statement was stop wars. That's the first statement he gave. And our prime minister has already said that this is not a era of war. Ye yudh ka yug nahi hai. He told this to Putin. So you put this together, both these gentlemen have a role in finishing wars. So now we'll talk about India as a global moderator. But before that, I saw this on the Twitter, so I thought I'll put it. So Trump wins, Putin smiles, he's smiling, push. Zelensky, वो तो दस्त लग गया भाई, वो तो finished. Xi Jinping, गुस्सा. नेतन्याहू बड़ा खुश, रंगा खुश हो गया. कमने वो तो रो रहा है. ओ यार ये क्या हो गया? मोदी ये सब खुश. शाबाश को तो वो छोड़ो दे यार, उसको तो खत्म हो गया उसका. वो और असीम मुनीर जा रहे होंगे कि यार दिल टूट गया टाइप. And Eunice, the beautiful expression, beautiful smileys and everything. I thought it was on the net. I mean, Twitter. I thought I must show it to all.